Hello fellow compounders, welcome back. Would you like to retire with $120,000 per year of passive income? That's the equivalent of $10,000 per month. In this episode, I'm going to share a simple investment plan to earn $120,000 in dividends per year when you retire. This video is for educational purposes only and should not be considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor and you are responsible for your own financial decisions. Let's do a quick refresher of the two phases of an investment plan: accumulation and distribution. Accumulation is when you are actively building your investment portfolio, and distribution is when you begin to withdraw funds to cover your living expenses. The focus of today's video is on the accumulation phase. We will review the distribution phase in another video. During the accumulation phase, we are sowing the seeds to grow our investment portfolio. We are actively contributing funds to the portfolio with the goal of growing our wealth over time. This phase usually lasts several decades. Let's use the case of Alex. Alex is a recent college grad with a degree of mathematics from the University of Texas. He is 22 years old and just started a job with a salary of $60,000 per year doing data analysis for an insurance company. His goal is to retire with $120,000 per year of passive income from dividends. By the way, that should be $120,000 in today's dollars. That means the equivalent purchasing power of $120,000 today at the time that he retires. He expects to retire at the age of 60 or earlier. There are many paths to get to $120,000 in annual dividends. Anyone with a plan and enough grit can do it. Let's break down the investing plan using the analogy of a football game. Before any football game, coaches and players analyze their opponents, create a playbook, and devise strategies. It's the same in investing. You start by analyzing your financial goals, risk tolerance, and time horizon. You create a financial plan that outlines your investment strategy and asset allocation. In Alex's case, his goal is to retire with around $3.5 million in today's dollars in about 40 years. We will divide the accumulation phase into 4 quarters, using his age as a discriminating variable. So, first quarter will be his 20s, that is age 20 to 29. Second quarter will be his 30s. Third quarter will be his 40s, and fourth quarter will be his 50s. In football, the offensive strategy aims to score points by moving the football towards the opponent's end zone. Similarly, during the accumulation phase of investing, the focus is on growing your portfolio by making regular contributions, diversifying investments, and leveraging the power of compounding. The ultimate goal is to win by scoring more points than your opponents. In investing, your goal is to achieve your financial objectives, whether it's saving for retirement, funding your child's education, or purchasing a home. By following your investment plan, regularly reviewing and adjusting your strategies, and staying disciplined throughout market fluctuations, you will successfully reach your financial goals, just like a well-coached football team gets a win at the end of a hard-fought game. Okay, now to Alex's plan. In order for Alex to achieve his goal of $120,000 annual dividends, we start with a plan. Here are the assumptions. 1. Alex expects to earn at least the S&P 500 index returns. So, the expected real return of the portfolio that we'll use is 6.5%. By the way, when we use the term real, it means after accounting for inflation. So when I say 6.5% real rate of return, it means that if inflation is 3%, then nominal return would be 9.5%. Nominal means that it includes inflation. In our example, we will use real returns, so it is easy to see things using today's dollars. If you could live today with $120,000 annually, 40 years from now, you will very likely need more nominal dollars. In fact, if you use a 3% inflation rate, you will need around $390,000 in 40 years to have the same purchasing power as your $120,000 today. According to Professor Jeremy Siegel in his book Stocks for the Long Run, the S&P 500 averages annually a 6.9% real rate of return, or 8.4% nominal rate of return in the period from 1802 to 2021. We are using the 6.5% real return rate to be on the conservative side. Number 2, we are using a withdrawal rate of 3.5% for Alex's distribution phase. This means that to withdraw the equivalent of $120,000, we will need around $3.5 million in the portfolio. To learn how to calculate the safe withdrawal rate, check out this video. Let's break down Alex's plans by quarters. In the first quarter, during his 20s, Alex's main source of income is his job. That's $60,000 in salary. His target for this quarter is to accumulate $121,000 by his 30th birthday. If his real income for the first decade averaged $60,000 per year in today's dollars, and he saves 15% annually and invests in a low-cost index fund like Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF, ticker VOO, he should be able to hit the goal. His target for this quarter should be 1. Create an emergency fund for 6 months of living expenses. 2. Reduce debt, that is his student loans and credit cards. 3. To increase his earnings by increasing his skill set and making himself more valuable. The specific goal is to increase his annual income to over $100,000 by the end of the period. 4. Invest 15% of his earnings or $9,000 per year. This is the most challenging quarter. It might be difficult for Alex to get into the habit of saving 15% of his salary. Starting from zero, the portfolio is very small, and it is hard to see the investments grow. It's like watching paint dry. Alex's focus should be to invest on himself by improving his skill sets and becoming a more valuable contributor at work. This in turn will increase his earnings and he will have more money to invest. That's why Charlie Munger said that the first $100,000 is a challenge. After that, it gets easier. Now to the second quarter, age 30 to 39. The goals for this quarter are 1. Increase annual investment to $25,000 per year, which means increasing the income from $50,000 to $100,000 and the savings rate from 15% to 25% of his income. 2. The target is to have a portfolio worth $565,000 by the end of the quarter. 3. Be tax efficient. Use available tools like 401ks, IRAs, and health savings accounts. On the investment side, he continues to keep it simple and invest 95% in VOO, and he starts a coffee can portfolio with the remaining 5%. To learn more about coffee can investing and a coffee can portfolio, check out this video. In the third quarter, Alex is in his 40s. He is at his peak earnings in his career. $120,000 per year in today's dollars, or around $250,000 nominal dollars. He has a decent sized portfolio. His goal is for this decade is to stay disciplined and increase his annual investments to $36,000 per year, or a savings rate of 30%. His goal is to finish the decade with $1.5 million. The compounding tailwind is kicking in. Notice that 55% of the equity in his portfolio was earned from the compounding effect. He continues investing in VOO and his coffee can portfolio. In the fourth quarter, Alex is in his 50s. He keeps up with the savings rate of 30% and maybe adds a bit more, now that his kids have left the nest and his mortgage in his home is paid off. He might even retire before 59 with some help from his coffee can portfolio. At the end of the accumulation phase, Alex has around $3.5 million in today's dollars and can withdraw $120,000 per year. In nominal terms, if we assume an inflation rate of 3%, Alex would have around $11 million and around $390,000 in dividends per year going into his distribution phase. The key takeaways from this exercise are: 1. Have a plan. 2. In the early stage, focus on improving yourself. Increase your value. Increase your earnings as much as possible so you have more to invest. 3. Invest as much money as possible as early as possible to allow time for compounding to take effect. And 4. Have grit. Stick to the plan.